to the Lux Party. Some of you guys look great. Great to see you. Let me get my Lux lighting going. Hello, hello. Great to see you all. Let me just pop a couple people into our room. All right. Cool. How y'all feeling today? Good? Thumbs up, everybody, all around. Okay. Cool. If you're taking a picture of our Zoom, Jennifer, you got to send it to me. I don't know if you're, I was like, I always forget to take a picture of everybody like, hey. Um, okay. I'm just doing the letting people in thing. Give me just a quick second. All right. Okay. Well, it's great to see you. Welcome to day 4 of the Rich Intuition Experience, meant to activate you in your life and business. Yes, as a spiritual entrepreneur, well-resourced, rich in every sense of the word. That's my mission. That's my goal. That's what all of this has been about. So super excited that you're here. Love the glasses, Miriam. And we have like pearls or like a pearl. I actually have a pearl mala, believe it or not, which is like beautiful. Whatever we got going on, pearls looks beautiful. Okay, so here's the plan for today, team. What I'm going to do is a couple of quick updates from yesterday of things that somebody asked me about the market research offer. I want to show you how to jump into the society just real quick, just to answer any questions. I want to, Linda, you sent me a link to your website and said that you did some updates. I had a question for you because I was wondering if you were responding to what Lauren was talking about having deep down, like the knowing that you're supposed to maybe hold a little bit of fame for your reach. And I didn't know who exactly you did your edits inspired by, but I wanted to show you, if it's okay with you, Sonia, I wanted to show Linda the homepage that we're building for you and have you share your journey of what it was like having a banner that was more a business name versus what you ended up with. So I think this is really important, you guys. So if you don't mind, we'll spend just a couple minutes on that. And then I have all sorts of really juicy information for you about how, the science and the physiology and mentally, emotionally, tapping into some of these hacks, these luxury formula hacks, can actually raise your state. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Tony Robbins has taught me about state. I'm going to talk a little bit about Amanda Francis and some of the other wealth people on the interwebs and their stories about activating state. And I want to give you kind of the 101 of why, when you're trying to embody and literally channel wealth into your business or into your life, even if you have other things that aren't necessarily business related, living rich in every sense of the word means sort of living rich, and then the universe sort of responds to that. So what we want to do is get into the feeling. Like, you've heard manifestation topics on about, like, okay, your thoughts are things, and then The Secret came out and said, no, it's not thoughts, it's feelings, right? And so they're all right, but what about feelings of abundance, and what about feelings of wealth, often triggered by experiences or focuses on luxury? So I'm going to talk to you specifically about that in your life and in your business today. And then I also want to leave some extra time to do any hot seats for you guys. Okay. I want to know if you have questions about obviously working with us, me and my team. I want to know if you have questions about the marketing research report. I want to know if you have any follow-up questions from yesterday. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Did you just pop in? I want to know if you have any questions about anything when it comes to, like, sometimes living life is hard sometimes. Not hard, but like, I did not have a love category in my Rich Intuition Society. I sort of figure relationships and things fit into life, but it's been like such an intuitive journey that has expanded me in business that I want to give you room to talk about things that maybe I didn't bring up in this 5-day event. So again, this is just to support you living rich in every sense of the word, whatever that means for you, getting your questions answered. So I want to leave a little extra time for hot seats in case anybody has random stuff. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is show you 2 ways to work with me and what the difference would be. That's something you guys keep asking about, that specifically this. So I want to show that to you real quick. So there is the Rich Intuition Society, which I'll get to in a minute. But somebody asked when I mentioned this just yesterday, I think, and two of you reached out to me about this. So I have a link. It's not currently active on my website because I only put this link up every once in a while when I'm running it, but I'll run it for you guys. This is a 2-hour VIP session. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it has, yeah, you can plan your offers, but it's the market research report. A lot of what we talked about yesterday is based on a real knowing of who your person is that is ready to buy the thing that you show up and are a big leader in, right? And when that matches, that's step one. Step two is knowing what they need to hear to understand. Like they have words in their head, they have sentences that they're saying to themselves, they have feelings that they're recognizing within themselves. So the marketing research report not only gives you like who is your person or whatever, but it gives you the visceral emotional language that they're using to describe their frustrations, which are short term, their fears, which are long term, their desires, which are short term, and their dreams, which are long term. And even from that, you can have a whole content creation strategy by just taking this one market research report that we can get all fleshed out. Who's done one of these with me? I know everybody in the mentorship has done it with me because it's included. So Sonia, yeah, do you want to unmute and like, what was your biggest takeaway from this report?
So for me, it was getting clarity on who my main highest ticket item market person was. I was clueless. I had no idea who that person was. I was just a run-of-the-mill psychic. And so doing this gave me clarity, not only about my gifts, that is my niche or my abilities that can really be amplified, makes me unique and I find my place. It's that what Tana was saying. You pair what your real special gifts are, not just generic, which is, yeah, special, but what's my unique offering and pairing that with the right person. And
Yeah,
so the market research allowed me to get into the whole world of this person. She even had an avatar and a name and what websites she was attracted to and what kind of job she had and how much money she made. I mean, it was really detailed. And it allowed me to then start designing with Tana more specifically the kind of language that I use, how I could reach her, how we could create that fit.
right.
So
And you
the
haven't
market,
done, you haven't started much social content, but when you do, you've literally got entire statements which are not
yes,
just made up. They're
right.
literally from the interwebs knowing exactly what your girl is
Yeah,
posting on the interweb, searching for. Like it's real research, right? So when
yeah,
there's a sentence or a statement there, they will respond as if you
yes,
know you're in their head. And so
yeah.
I know you haven't started your social content role fully,
Mm,
but I mean, I think we highlighted like 40 different things there that you could
yes.
create content about. Yeah.
Yeah, specific things like things that my target audience gal, what her main desires are, her goals, what are her fears, what are her hesitations, what is her buying style. I mean, it's
Right.
really, really
For
detailed.
buying style, because different offers will be matched to different types of people. Even if they're all spiritual, there's different types of people, and depending on your offer, there's going and your person, there's going to be a different buying style as well. Buying styles could be like, for example, I have people who are drawn to my work are usually what they call uh like premium legacy buyers. So they buy premium because they want premium result, and legacy they want something that matters and that will last and that will create something that they want to leave behind. And that type of buyer has a whole set of emotions and things that drives them. So it's really in depth, you guys. And basically, this is an offer that I had up for a minute at the back end of something I don't use anymore right now. But it's 444. I'll keep the price there for you guys if you want. And basically, it's a 2-hour session with me. We do this report and then we review it and I highlight and I show you based on where you want to focus, whether it's social content or copy or offer. We spend the rest of that time really showing you on your report what to pull from there and how to implement it in those ways. Okay. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. That's the first thing I wanted to give you guys. Okay. The second thing I wanted to give you was a really quick. You guys were asking me questions. I got a couple messages last night about how the Rich Intuition Society works. I know I kind of covered this, but first of all, there's 5 playgrounds, right? And you guys are up to number 4. So you've been in on the runway lifestyle, you've been in the reading room, you've been in the boardroom. Today's the cash vault, and tomorrow we're talking about legacy, which is the philanthropic work, which is a really cool thing if you've never considered how this can work in your business, even at the level that you're at, even if you're just starting out, even if you have sense, okay? Like sense, you can still do this. So I'm really excited to show you that tomorrow. But what we have, I have a bunch of training information and who this is for. Also, there's a full article here that someone was featured in about my work if you want to see that. Here's some other things. Okay, so there's 2 ways to work in the reason I have a year-long program is because when I was starting out, I did kind of like the 3-6 month thing, and I found that I could teach you a lot of stuff, but to actually cross you over the threshold, to actually make sure you got to the goal and it wasn't just like info dumping and then you were overwhelmed and sort of didn't put it into effect. I realized that even though, like Lauren, I was scared at first to have a year-long offer because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how's that going to work? But I learned really quickly that it was like the only way I could work with people, and people that are in my space, sometimes they stay 2 or 3 years, even if I'm on a track that they still want to be a part of, right? But anyways, so we do a year-long thing, and the mastermind is the group coaching program. If you don't need one-on-one, you don't have the appetite to be working closely with me, if you don't need or are attracted to done for you, because a lot of, like, Sonia's in the mentorship, which is different. That's the one-on-one too. I'll show you that in a second. But we do a lot of done for you in there with, like, I'm building Sonia's website out, right? So, like, I'll show you that in a second. But the group mastermind is still fantastic. You get access to all my trainings, everything I do, you're invited. We have 4 1-hour group coaching calls, which are all just Q&A. Get fed, whatever you're working on, whatever you need, I'm here for you. Those are 1-hour sessions 4 times a month. And then we also have 2 2-hour sessions where we're actually just doing a psychic practice together. What do we do? So we talk to our higher self, we automatic write, we pull cards, we do like this whole thing. And then afterwards we talk about what we got, we get hits for each other, we practice, just sort of being a spiritual person and having a space and time where we're not just doing it for everybody else, but we're like doing it for us and each other, which is really great. And then of course you get access to the portal. That's still a year-long program, you guys. And so if you do 4 calls, actually 6 calls times 12, then we're looking at, over, what is it? Over 80 hours that we're doing in a year or whatever, right? So there's a lot of time for you to go through stuff, and you get access to the portal at all times. There's 2 ways to do that. There's $333 a month as a founding member. After this launch, a few days after this launch, the founding member price is going away. And the only reason why is because a founding member price is literally just for the first launch. That's like literally what a founding thing is. And so after this launch is over, I'll be on to what's not the first launch anymore. So if you want to get in at $333, you still get the group price. It's a little bit more expensive. You get a discount if you pay in full, which is $3,400 for the entire year. And in addition, when you pay in full, you get a couple of bonuses. One is a private 1-hour session with me, and followed by 2 days of Telegram, or basically Voxer, which is, it's your choice, but it's voice support to implement anything we talked about. Okay. And of course you can buy one-on-ones with me, sporadically if you need them, but this will come as a bonus for the pay in full. Okay. So just to differentiate, the mentorship is the group coaching program only with the additional one-on-one support. Okay. So you get everything that's already in the mastermind. You also get 2 one-on-one hour sessions per month. And I never leave you hanging. So if we're right at the cusp of something and we haven't finished, Sonia knows, like, I'll be like, schedule an extra one. We got to get through this, So, I mean, it means your business is now my business and we're working on it together, really. And I know I keep mentioning Sonia because she's the one who's here right now, but we just had a virtual VIP weekend. We worked 6 hours back to back on a Saturday and a Sunday. So you get a virtual VIP weekend to use as you want. And another thing I was going to mention, I forgot, is and you get, the year long of the chat access. You're in my pocket. You send me a message, I respond within a day for the entire year with strategy or the question or whatever you need. So that is something Sonia and I use. both for personal stuff and for business stuff right now. The other thing I wanted to mention is we have a monthly price here, of course, again. And then this is the 1444 is the price after the founding member. And then there is also a payment in full, which is a great deal. I think this is what you did, right, Sonia? I think, yeah, because you saw the discount. And then what it does is that it also, I want to tell you guys, this is something we do every year. We do something. How many of you have been to my authority retreat? A couple of you have been to my authority retreat. We do a retreat every year. This year it's in, I think it's the end of July. We're doing it. The best, she says. Yep. And it's in Orlando. And basically it's 3 full days. Or if you get VIP access, it's a 5-day event, which is part of this bonus. You get a 5-day VIP. But you get access to the 3-day content creation event, which is all about getting video podcasts, video interviews, B-roll, professional photo shoots, and it's like crazy great in a really professional studio with professional photographers. And then what happens is that ends up being something that you seamlessly work into your website or your brand or to your authority. And we plan those shoots in a way that it's going to complement your brand, basically. So everything from the lighting to the colors to the props to the outfits, we think of everything really holistically. Okay. So, and if you can't or don't want to attend in Orlando this July as your bonus, you can do an additional VIP weekend, which can be virtual. Okay. So that is the Rich Intuition Society. And I'll mention one more thing. The Rich Intuition Society basically has like 4 elements. We're working on brand. There's a lot of training about brand, right? A seamless brand. There is a lot of training on offers. And this is where the market research comes in between this step of the brand and the offer. This is where a lot of this gets implemented, okay? The third thing, which I'm really excited about, I wanted to mention this. Someone reminded me to mention this. The third one is funnels. So I know funnels is a scary word for a lot of you guys, but it just basically means what happens while I sleep that turns leads into my world and into customers and clients. One of my unique differentiators in this category, I mean, among doing funnels as a psychic anyways, or an intuitive is already a little fringe for us because, like I said, our industry is not very savvy, but this will set you apart. But the other thing that I'm really excited about doing the live training for real soon, if you're joining in, is something we call the Oracle deck funnel, or even the free Oracle deck funnel. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I have a funnel where you get a free Oracle deck, just pay shipping, and it's an actual, you can get the digital deck and you can get the hard deck. I mean, I have a deck right here, right? So I'm going to teach you. And even if you're in the mentorship, I can do it for you because that's done for you. We're doing that for Sonia. We're going to create her an Oracle deck. I'm going to design it and everything, right? And then what you can do is you can decide that you can have online courses and stuff, but you also have the option to create an Oracle deck that is based on your brand. And this is the most powerful funnel I have ever run, aside from the ROI results on having a high ticket funnel, because that's just kind of a different ballgame. But the getting new leads into your world, especially cold ones. Think about this, you guys. If you had an Oracle deck funnel and you were running even a little bit of ads to it, let's say, or organic or ads, either way, but let's pretend ads because they're totally cold leads in that case. They weren't even connected to you, right? So even if that's the case, right? If you have an Oracle deck, they don't have to buy into you just yet. They don't have to be convinced that you're the best thing since sliced bread. They already love Oracle decks, right? I mean, how many Oracle decks do you guys have? How many tarot decks do you have? Right? So by telling him, hey, free Oracle deck, just pay shipping, most people, no matter what the deck is, are going to be like, yeah, I could use that, and you get them into your world more than saying, I'm great, come to my offer, come to my thing, right? So anyways, it's really unique. And this is kind of my edge because no one else does this. I saw somebody do this before, but they were just doing digital decks, and I saw that they had 100 comments, and everyone's like, what about hard decks? And they're like, no, don't do hard decks. I'm like, I know how to do hard decks. So we're going to be doing that funnel in there. So anyways, there's a lot to go over in a year, basically. I know we've scratched the surface, but the idea is brand, offers, funnels, and the last one is PR and celebrity. because we want to work on getting those logos on your website. We want to work on getting you publication features. We want to work on getting you on a podcast world tour. Some of you may have some interest in speaking on stages, this kind of thing, right? And then the authority retreat helps a lot with that too. Okay, any questions about any of that before I move on to Linda's quick update on her website? Does anybody have any questions on that? Yeah, Lauren, go ahead.
Is there like a start date and an end date, or can you jump in at any time?
You can jump in at any time, but the
Okay.
founder's price is probably going to be dropped about 4 or 5 days after our event is over.
This event.
This event is over.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll
Cool.
probably leave it through like the middle of next week or whatever, if you guys want that pricing, if that's your motivation. Otherwise, it's you can start anytime. And because our calls are not like you'll miss being live for some of the upcoming trainings, but that's okay because they'll be on demand for you, like whatever. But yeah, and another place to start if you weren't sure is to like you can do the market research report and get started. And like I know with Sonia, she did the market research report and then she was like, all right, like I don't want to stop here. And what I did is I
said,
just
help, help. That's what I said, help.
I think we rolled it over into the cost of your, I just said, we'll just roll over what you paid and put it in the cost. So I don't mind doing stuff like that, you guys. So that's another option too. Okay. Any other questions before I jump in? Okay.
What will it take for you to ship your tarot cards or your cards to Norway? You don't ship outside of the
Norway.
US.
Are you in Norway?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I shipped a couple to friends in Australia and in Dubai, and it cost me like, I think $25 shipping. So I can definitely like figure out how to get you a deck for around that cost, right? I could figure that out if you want to like talk with me offline about that. Otherwise, if you were doing an Oracle deck funnel, we would just find you the equivalent of my US printer and distributor, my publisher, and we would find you an equivalent there because if you wanted to do an Oracle deck funnel and most of your clients were, let's say, in your country, then in that case, the shipping would end up costing less if you had a publisher that would ship them from Norway, but we could figure that out. I have clients that are like, have been in Australia and we've like figured it out, you right? But even if you do use my publisher, the shipping cost is like 25. So let me just give you some perspective. Even if the deck costs 25 to get to someone in Norway, you could always have a free Oracle deck, but you're also selling a training course on how to use the Oracle deck. So the cost is 25 for the program and you get the free Oracle deck. So you guys, there's a million different ways to do this, right? So if the Oracle deck is sexy to you, but you're like, I can't figure out what I would do there, like we'll figure it out. There's an answer to everything. So yeah, really easy as far as like moving products around and stuff like that. Okay. Yes, Miss Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay. How do you
Sorry,
feel, baby?
I was trying to figure out my audio. But I did wonder, so with the Oracle deck, that's all included in both, like whether it's the I didn't
Yes.
see. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
it's included in both. The only difference is if you're in the mentorship, I can actually design it for you during our one-on-one time because our one-on-one time is either done for you or I'm coaching you or we're doing whatever needs to be done. Like
Oh, right.
that's the one-on-one time. So if you are concerned with wanting it to be a little bit more like done for you, then you would want to consider the mentorship all around when it comes to website, PR, pitching, like we act as your agency during those hours or whatever. Like if you want it done for you, the mentorship is the way to go. The group program, which is cheaper and it's a better value for people who don't need the done for you and want to attend the trainings or watch the replays, come to the coaching calls to get their questions answered and don't need necessarily done for you. Although some of you have been in my programs before, and even on the coaching call, if you're working on a website or something, depending on what you're working on, I can zip in there and like solve some problems real quick. But typically done for you is really, it's the mentorship allows the container for that.
Nice. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, anything else? Okay, you're good. So do me a favor. If you have any questions about this, or you are interested, now is the cheapest time to get in just because you guys are the founding launch event. Okay. So if you have questions, you're on the fence, you need some consideration, you want to ask me about timing, whatever, just I'm a person, just reach out. Okay. Because I believe if this is something you want, the universe is going to open that door for you. And if I'm part of that somehow, then I will be, we'll figure it out. Okay. Anyways, all right, I'm going to move on to the quick thing. So Linda, I wanted to ask you, did you respond to what I was telling Lauren yesterday about the celebrity and having like a reach that's attaching people to you as the from your website, I saw that the thing about your business was your guardians, right? But you are the channel, you are the keeper of those guardians, right? So did you resonate with anything I was telling Lauren about how to become the face of her business so people could feel her and understand who's in charge of this exchange? Did you have any resonance to that?
Yes, and I've heard you talk about that before when I've been in one of your seminars. This is a new banner. My old banner was totally about me.
Yeah,
And
so it's
then
really,
I
it's a
felt
beautiful banner.
I felt so strongly about the White Light Guardians that I thought, well,
Yeah.
maybe I'll just do my branding as the lantern, and I can go back to the other type of banner. What I was doing, what really moved me yesterday was when you were talking about being focused in your comments and like asking for the order and like telling
Yeah.
instead of listing a bunch of services. And
Yeah.
so I was rewriting text on the homepage to sort of be really targeted and direct.
Okay, that's beautiful. I'll take a look at that like
Mhm.
offline here, maybe tonight before I see you again tomorrow or whatever. But I wanted to show you, we did this same journey with Sonia recently, where we had she was going to do Quantum Destiny, but she also had the name of her guides that she was channeling called the Spirit Wisdom Council, and she wanted to be the face of her brand. And those are three big headliner things. So I
Mhm.
wanted to show you, this is a beautiful banner, but you could also do something similar to this where
Right.
the lantern is on the side and we have look at this beautiful photo. Was
Mhm.
this taken on the iPhone? You haven't been to the authority retreat yet, so we did.
No, but my partner is a photographer, so we did it in
Yeah.
his studio.
And then we finessed it a little bit with AI to make sure the quality was really crisp.
Mhm.
And then what we did is we had, for her, the solution was having this Spirit Wisdom Council in the corner. And then she's got her Quantum Destiny. And this is a website that we're building together. Like
Mhm.
I'm designing it and she's building it based on all the things. Okay. So, and then did we ever play with the about page? Yeah, we're getting there too. Yeah. So, I just wanted to show you that example, Linda, because I think you could have the best of both worlds. I think you could actually get a really big presence of yourself into this banner, and kind of keep your stuff on one side and sort of this image of you on the left or the right, like the left, I kind of feel, but like could be either. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that because I think that it inspired me so much when I just opened it. I was like, oh, I want to see this circle thing. I want to see this photo like big in the corner, and then the banner move all the way out, So I just wanted to show you that. Okay.
Sure. I'm good to do that. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, y'all, let's talk about, oh yeah, Miriam, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Do you
Yeah.
build the websites on mobile, also cell phone first, and
No,
then
actually,
on a stationary?
anybody who's getting a done for you website from me or my team, we are definitely building it on Wix. We have two kind of things that we can do. First of all, we have a template that we give all of our people that can build from the template. And some of the people even in this room right now have built websites from our master template with multiple home pages and multiple about pages that you can pick and choose. And then we have some content that allows you to plug the copywriting in all strategically for our industry. It'll tell you actually what to write in each space and how to come up with the copy. So there's kind of like a done or a DIY version that is really clean and really effortless as far as like starting from scratch, right? You don't have to start from scratch. But those people, there's a couple people in this room. Jen, we build hers. We built Sunny's at one point custom. We built Kamara's custom. Hi, Kamara. I saw you just come in. Sonia's is custom. So anybody who worked with me in a more one-on-one and done for you mentorship, we were either number one choosing even like a really nice paid, like $50, $100 or something, beautiful template that third-party designers use. And then if it really matched the vision, and then we were editing through that, or we can build from scratch. But the thing is $50 to $100 on one of these professional templates that's already what you love, it saves time with me. So it saves time with all your money and everything else we're doing together. So I will suggest sometimes if you have a $50 or $100, kind of budget for a template, then you can buy that, even if you know nothing of what to do with it. Then we work on it. So we work exclusively with Wix. In Wix, you build out the website first. And then when you're done with the website, we go in to the mobile and move the mobile around to make sure it's tidy. So the mobile comes second before we publish it. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Like I built all my old websites on Wix, and then I went over to Techmatics because Techmatics is an all-in-one like membership and funnels and websites and courses and everything. But my
Yeah.
question was actually because I'm looking at the laptop version, and it looks like the site is built for the laptop version or a stationary PC or Mac. And so my question is, are you actually building it for a cell phone where people use, because people use cell phone most? Like, how does this site
Yeah,
translate
let me
to
show
cell
you
phone?
something. Are you guys all interested in this? Can I take a minute on this? Do you guys mind? Okay. I'm gonna go into Wix.com and I'm gonna pull up a website that is not fixed yet. And then I'll show you one that is. So we have not done, these are all the websites I do. We have not finished Sonia's site, so we have not worked on mobile. So let me show you an example. So this is just pulling up the editor, the desktop editor. So as you can see, we've got, what we've been working with. Because we've customized and moved things around, the mobile site is going to need some detailing when we're finished. So you can see that everything is here. All the elements are here, but you see the spacing here is not perfect. So basically when we're done with the design, it's not bad, but it's not perfect, right? So you notice this section is supposed to be higher, right? So I would go in and make it higher. So it needs some finesse. So everything is there. And most platforms that you do something like this on, it's going to be there, but it just needs finesse. Okay. So typically, but the thing is with a lot of these sites, these platforms, if you, how did I raise my own hand? Lower my hand. Typically on these platforms, if you do the mobile first, then it's just, how do I say this? I don't have to explain it, but because it's kind of technical, but it works better with every platform as a workflow to do desktop first, which will generally place it on the mobile where it goes, and then finessing the mobile is very easy. There's a lot of people who've been in my programs before they're even here. And I, like Liliana, you did your design quite a bit on yourself. You got kind of savvy during this whole process. But I think did I help you with your mobile? Tighten it up like one day? It took like 10 minutes. We just tightened up your mobile.
Yeah, you did. Because I was having a hard time with that part of the thing. So you went in and zipped and corrected, and it works really great now on the
It
mobile.
took like 5 or 10 minutes. The thing is, you guys, is like, you don't have to be the expert at everything. Like I'm actually an expert at a lot of this stuff. So what happens is if we're on a coaching call or you're in a one-on-one or whatever, and it's like, hey, can you tighten my mobile app? I'm like, yeah, done. So I'm going to do things that are going to save you time if that's what you need, right? So like certain things you don't have to learn from scratch. Now, by watching me edit it, you'll learn a little, but you don't have to struggle. So, okay. Any other questions? In a 6-hour day, Tana is, oh, my brain is amazing. Yep, just lots of coffee, right? Wix is super easy to use. Yeah, I know you use Wix too, Lauren. I could tell because you could just tell after you build a bunch of websites. Yeah, the banner is gorgeous. Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll leave it there. And what I'm going to do is spotlight myself, and I'm going to talk to you guys about state. And I'm not going to make you jump up and down and do anything that Tony Robbins does. But I'm going to talk at you for a minute about state and tell you some really cool stories. Okay. So basically, the whole idea of why I started becoming attracted to luxury branding, luxury lifestyle, why I started becoming obsessed with luxury is because as a spiritual entrepreneur, I started to really realize that not only did I want to make money doing what I was doing so I could sustain it, but I started feeling the call that I wanted to help other spiritual entrepreneurs also not struggle, make money, and therefore be able to be resourced in their light work. That's my mission. I've already told you guys that. So when I really started to work with the energy of this dream, of this mission, it was very clear to me that what Spirit was putting into my space and showing me is that luxury was sort of this very ample trigger into the wealth vibration. When we think of luxury, we think of overflow, we think of indulgence, we think of extra, right? We think of high premium, we associate this with wealth. And it's not that you have to be all about money. Like if you guys know me, like online, you might be in my world and see that it's like wealth, rich. But when you know me, it's not like I'm sitting over here just like going money for and nothing else. But I have embraced the energy of wanting and giving permission and playing and flirting with money because I have to hold this frequency so that you guys can be activated in yours because you have work to do. And if you can't figure out how to sustain it or to be abundant in it, it won't sustain or expand, right? And I want your work to expand because it's meant to. The world needs your work. So I started saying, well, then I'm going to go ruffle some feathers and trigger some people into the ideas that they might be playing a little small or have some permission-based things that they're still working on with money. Now, this is not going to be a day where I attack that. I have a training series in the Rich Intuition Society. It's our namesake program. It's called Rich Intuition. And it's really about who's taken Rich Intuition. Liliana's taken it. Sunny's taken it. I forget who in here has taken the Rich Intuition, but Rich Intuition was the one where we looked at all your money beliefs and we started taking out the trash, right? And lovingly, like really honestly taking a look at where our subconscious knee-jerk reactions are. And one of the things I love to do, and call me an outlaw or a rebel, is I love to model money in an extra way that spiritual entrepreneurs are not supposed to, just to get you chewing on it. Because I'm not here for people to necessarily understand me. I'm here for activating people. That's what's going to get my mission done. So I'll activate who I'm supposed to activate. And if anybody doesn't get me, they didn't look into it enough, which is fine. That's okay. Everyone's allowed. But I'm not going to go into that today, but the Rich Intuition training series is I think it's like a 4-hour series where we like go deep into this stuff. I'm not doing that today. Today we're going to stay fun, but luxury is associated with wealth. And I realized that from a really long time ago when I was starting to play with the idea of having this mission. Okay. So the idea that came to me first, and not just the idea, but the knowing and the expressing in my own life is that with luxury, it changes your state of mind. Now, the idea, let me just, before I even bring in luxury, let's talk about your state of mind. When you are in a negative state, how many of you, and I'm just saying negative, meaning low, slumpy, like not feeling that very much is possible, feeling really bogged down. When you're there, how many of you guys are great problem solvers? How many of you all say that my most brilliant ideas come at this state? How many of you can say that the meaning you make of the person at the grocery store, or the meaning you make of the person who's driving in front of you in traffic, the meaning you make of a bill that comes through, the meaning you make of things? How many of you guys can say when you're in a low state, the meaning you make of the things happening in your life and all around you are kind of crappy? You're not great, okay? And maybe you're not necessarily ailed with feeling like that all the time, but what if I could tell you it works in the opposite way, where a higher state actually solves your problems, like reveals solutions and actually magnetizes to you, just like playing I Spy. Imagine you're on a road trip and I say, I spy something blue, and you go, blue, 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 blue. Like, everybody take a minute right now, okay? And look around the room, and I want you to look for things that are blue. Just take a second. Blue, 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 blue. Okay, now I want you to do red. Okay, look for red. Okay, here's a question. How many of you guys saw some maroon shit or some brown stuff and you called it red just so you could get more red points? So, and not that you had to, but like the thing is like when we change our state of mind that this is what we're trying to do, we can actually see more solutions than even what you would describe as the things you were looking for, right? So it's all focus and it's all state of mind. So when we change the way we feel, it changes our physiology, literally, and it changes the way our brain processes and we think. And then what happens is we start to make connections that we didn't make before, and we start to make meaning of things in a certain more productive way than we would have made not being in this state. Okay. So some of the things that change your state that changes when you introduce like little luxury moments, and I'll get into that, but you start feeling potential. And again, you guys, it's not about saying that this is all that matters. I'm not saying material over everything. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, like, I know spiritual entrepreneurs, they come for me. They come for me. They're like, I don't care about that stuff. But let me ask you a question. If you said something like that to yourself and patted yourself on the back for wanting or needing or having less, if some part of you rewarded yourself with dopamine to say, I don't need those things, I don't want those things, and some part of you, even small, patted yourself on the back, that's a hard limit you have. You think one thing is good and another thing is not, but for the sake of your mission, it might not be serving you. It might be keeping you in a parameter that is keeping your business and your reach in a smaller way. It's the same thing with fame. Like, Lauren, can I talk to you for a second about this? Did you feel any shame
Sure.
around the hit that you knew that fame was supposed to, like, think about you, the fame. Imagine you're on a photo shoot and you're like, strike a pose, fame. Did that feel at first really spiritual to you? Or did that feel at first a little selfish or a little egotistical? Like, how did you feel about that when you first dropped in that fame would be a part of your mission?
At first, it felt, I like how you described it on day one, where it felt like part of my mission, in that it's not about me, it's about the reach and the message. And so that was the original feeling. But then I slowly kind of moved into, oh shit, am I getting into my ego too much? Like, am I getting self-absorbed? All of those things that we're
Yeah.
told.
Yeah. So let me tell you guys something. You guys are light workers. I guarantee you're not going to get an ego. You're not going to get self-absorbed. You're overprotecting yourself. You're overdoing it in that category. Why? Because you're in integrity and those are your values. But you need to loosen up a little bit because those values and integrity are keeping you tight. They're keeping you tight. And all I'm saying is have your integrity and values as your guiding light, and then step out into the limelight. Step out into something expansive and know that you are actually the only type of person that probably could do this and will do this and not lose your way. It's for those reasons you will not lose your way, right? I have this reel on Instagram where I'm like, you're not going to get lost. You're not going to get lost in this. I was building a website for an agency client. He's not here. He's in our program. And I said, okay, is there any businesses that you like, you want to model off of or websites? He's like, oh, I like Tyler Henry. I like John Edwards. I like whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I said, so we're drawn to this kind of like brand style and, fame and stuff. And he's like, oh, no. I don't want to be famous. And I said, but you want a TV show? He's like, I want a TV show like John Edwards, but I don't want to be famous. And I'm like, all right, What's the knee-jerk reaction? Because fame is not bad in and of itself. It's only if you bring certain aspects to it. And fame is more just about reach, you guys. So that's the point. Is I just wanted like kind of open this up for you guys a little bit so that you're not over protecting yourself from expansion. Okay. And again, even with this conversation, you might not choose to expand like me, expand like Sonia, expand like Lauren. I'm not saying one fits all. I'm just saying check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because there are some places where you have knee-jerk reactions and dopamine hits and you're patting yourself on the back for needing, earning, and caring about less. But less is not going to do more in the world as easily. Okay? So when I get into these luxury hacks, it's not because I'm saying money and possessions and material over everything. I'm saying use it to expand you where you have been contracted. Because expansion is good for the entire freaking world when it comes to your mission. Okay. So just kind of like wanted to say that. Okay. But stepping into luxury, it feels like divine support. You kind of feel little tingles of worthiness, a little tingle of abundance, tingles of expansiveness, tingles of electricity, tingles of safety, not really feeling like you're in survival mode, right? Can you guys imagine a time where your bank account was so low that you felt afraid? And can you also imagine a time where you had plenty of money and it felt a lot safer? Like, you as a healer need to be regulated. So I'm not saying you can't learn lessons that take you into places. I'm just saying like it's okay to say I want to feel solid, right? And sometimes luxury can invoke this state. So the other thing we do is when we change our feelings and what we're associating with, we're changing again our story. I mentioned before the counting all blue things, counting all red things. When we change our state of mind, we literally, they know this by neuroscience, we perceive new possibilities. We solve problems more creatively, okay? Hello, intuitive downloads, right? We assign better meanings to challenges. We say this is a divine redirection. Like, oh, Sonia, what was that thing you said earlier? Like your website or your brand kept like evolving like really, really fast and you like had this time limit that you wanted to do it, but then you got into a really high peak state and Spirit said to you, what did Spirit say to you?
It's like I was giving birth and it needed gestation time and it had its own time. That was
It had
different
its own
from
time.
my timetable. I had this particular timing, but there is a divine timing that's happening through me, and to relax and allow that to take place.
Yeah, it was like this divine reframe, and you came to me with a totally different energy. And I get it because I get that like I want to control and I have a due date and I have things. And I'm not saying it's like taking forever longer, but it just it missed the idea that you had in your head. And then because you were in a high state, because we were doing I don't remember if you did this during one of our reading room episodes or you had your own practice that you did, but you came and said, I got it. It's actually important because I'm not birthing just a website, I'm birthing a legacy. And it needs a moment to be set at the potential of its premium legacy, right? So it was a reframe that you got because you were in a high state, right? So not only that, but you trust your intuition because you feel safe. Luxury can make you feel like abundant and solid, like you have your needs met, and brings you into a place of overflow, which brings you into a place of trust, safety. It can help you feel excited. It can expand ideas that are bigger than what you thought was available to you before. And then when you have these bigger perceptions, you're able to change your strategies. So what this looks like is things that you guys all might want, okay? The end result is things you all might want. The right prices. You want to create boldly and step into leadership in this really, really powerful way. You don't want to play small. You want to do the best damn work of your life, right? You want to market with magnetism and not manipulation. You want to maybe even potentially hire support within coaching or even beyond coaching. You want to take divine risks because like in those moments where spirit is like, I've been talking about this a lot on my socials because it's really we're actively working in my life right now. And I keep my content kind of like with what I'm working on in my life. But so certain things do feel like a risk, but like they might look a little weird on paper, but I love just hearing the divine yes and being like, let's go, like even if I don't know how it's going to work out in a week from now, I'm actually I've primed myself on purpose to be able to take those opportunities, and it's always like the biggest payoff, and it's always fine. I remember the first one I ever did, I went years and years. This wasn't even intuitive. This was before I had like my business. Online at least. I went years and years and years without buying an iPhone when there were still some people that didn't have an iPhone. I went years and years and years, and my partner at the time told me, "You can't afford an iPhone. Like, we can't afford an iPhone. Can't afford an iPhone. It's a splurge. It's a luxury. It's something you don't need." And one day I was like, "Damn it! I want to run an online business. I can do things easier on your iPhone. I think I need it." I bought an iPhone. Guess how many times I haven't paid for my iPhone over the years? Zero. Zero. Why? Because I just followed, like, it felt good to me. It was a yes to have an iPhone. And when I was able to find a deal and not even know if I'd be able to pay for it every month, I said to the universe, I said, "Obviously you want me to have an iPhone, because it's going to support my business and everybody else. So I'm going to let you figure it out." Right. So the thing is, like, you take divine risks, right? You invest in your vision when necessary. And then when you also change your strategies, your stories change, right? So instead of overthinking or hesitating, you make confident, aligned moves. Instead of aiming for safe, you actually feel so safe that now you can stretch into possibility, right? Maybe instead of undercharging, you're creating premium offers with ease that really are worth every penny and that have a more premium price, right? And it's not just that you're driven by just price. I'm just saying the price is an expression of the leadership you're holding. If you have a small offer with a small price, the only energetic exchange that's going to happen in there is a smaller one. So it's not really about making more money for money's sake. When I say raise your prices, I mean raise the F up your leadership, raise your container, raise your mission, raise your work. And that's why the price is just like part of that. It's not like it's separate from that, right? So it's just really great to not have to be run by the nervous system dysregulation all the time. And so when we play in luxury, we're playing with ways to feel safe and abundant. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys some luxury hacks. And then I want to hear what you guys take away from this, or any of them that actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them in the chat room because I actually have some of these written out. I don't know if I can put it all at once or if I have to do it in pieces. Hold on. Let me see if I can share it in the chat room. Oh, it did. No, it's too long. Let me take some out. I'll do it in 2 pieces. Okay, so that's one. So let's talk about this list first. Okay. So here's some free or low cost luxury things you can do. Dopamine dressing. You guys heard of dopamine dressing? I feel fantastic right now. Why? Because I feel like I'm a little romantic Victorian goddess, and that's like one of my vibes, right? So dopamine dressing, it's a whole science. Look it up. It's amazing. It changes literally your physiology inside, changes in the way you feel. You guys ever want to get ready for a first date and you want to look great and you kind of nail it and you look amazing, and then you're just feeling very like frisky and playful, you know? Do you guys remember that? For me, I've been out of the dating world for a while, but like, yeah, I mean, think about just like dressing up for a nice night. We want to feel good on a night. We dress up, right? So you can use this to your advantage. A signature scent ritual. Every time before I go on Zoom, obviously I'm not seeing you in person, but I spray one of my favorite perfumes. And you can even go, there's one thing on my list here that says, even if you don't have a fancy perfume or something like that, you can even go to places like Sephora and get the testers of the real bougie perfumes, like the Gucci and stuff. And you can just dab a little Gucci on, right? Or a little Armani, right? That would be fun, right? Like, go take yourself on a perfume sample if you really want to, like, get something real bougie in there, right? You can lounge at a luxe location. How many of you know who Amanda Francis is? She's like one of my spirit animals, Amanda Francis. Anyway, she does like money stuff. Not necessarily, I wouldn't call her a spiritual entrepreneur, but I mean, she does have a flair, a little flair, but not really a spiritual entrepreneur in any way. She's more like a life coach. Anyway, she used to do this thing where she would break into hotels. Like she used to like go to the Four Seasons and like get into the pool area and like lounge at the Four Seasons pool just to be in the energy of money because she knew it was going to entrain her energy. And she would order one drink from the bar and ask if she could sign it on her credit card instead of her room. And she did that all the time. She even went to luxury hotels just to walk around and hang out, like at least once a week, to be in the vibe of luxury, to feel like she created not a numbness or a callus, but like a comfortability level with being around that much luxury. Like she belonged there, right? And she, let's just call her a multimillionaire today, okay? So it worked for her. Rich girl morning ritual, putting your warm lemon water in a wine glass. I love putting stuff in a wine glass, but I gave away something after a photo shoot and I realized my parents don't drink and I don't have any wine glasses. So I have to actually go order some more wine glasses or even go to the thrift store and get some wine glasses and put your lemon water in there. Anything you're drinking, put it in. You know what I mean? That's fancy. High-end browsing designer stores, even if you don't buy anything, just go in there and start walking around, right? Get used to the energy. Luxe bubble baths, of course, that one is self-explanatory. I think we all know how to have a Luxe bath. Yep, drinkware upgrade, go groceries, buy one thing like a bougie chocolate bar just because you're gonna do it, you know, buy something from the organic. There's some other girly things here like playlist, flowers, taking a walk, rich girl walk, listen to something, right? Declutter, curate stuff. And then there's another one that I really love. I wanted to show you guys. I even follow on Instagram all sorts of like elegance and wealthy like channels. And there's this one girl, I can't remember her name, but she does this like things I find completely luxe and chic. And she does these like videos where she says stuff. And one time she said, one of the things I find so luxe, she said, is vintage watches. Vintage gold watches for women. So I went to Poshmark and I purchased, they don't actually run, they're a glorified bracelet. That doesn't matter to me. It's more about the frequency than it is like the time telling. I could put a battery in it if I wanted to, I just don't. But this is one of my watches and it looks really luxe, doesn't it? Like, but I got this off of Poshmark for like $10. Right? And it is vintage, which means it's been around and it feels like special, right? So I've bought I think 6 watches and some of them are so old that they're like really Victorian-y looking. But some of the more gold ones that are still nice, those are the ones I wear most. But this was very low cost and it's like a secret love letter to myself when I put this thing on, right? Okay, so those are some low cost and free ones. I wanted to give you guys some mid-tier ones. Yep, get a massage, flowers, splurge on shoes. I know you're a shoe girl. I know you are. I'm more of a bag girl than I'm a shoe girl, but I'm getting there with shoes. So here's some more mid to premium. Buy one luxury accessory. Just one. Go to Poshmark or the Real Real or some used site and buy a Chanel scarf for $99. Find one that's got a good price and get one real luxury item. That's something you could do, right? Upgrade one tech item, get like some fancy gold pens or a crystal to put on like what do I have here? I have a couple of fancy things like here at my desk. It could be crystals. It could be, I mean, anything fancy like gold pens or monogram stationery, right? Poshmark or the Real Real. Those are the reselling of brand name stuff. Work from a luxury hotel, work from it. That's funny. Do a blowout or a facial monthly, like Sunny said, a massage. wear jewelry that feels expensive. It's just about the energy, not necessarily what you paid for it. Get a custom nameplate necklace. I've gotten a couple custom nameplate necklaces from Etsy. I had one that I put the word Lux on it, and I have a couple of them that say Tana. Love that. High quality bed sheets. Yes, please. Laundry services, a signature scent, a fancy wallet to celebrate. I also do. How many of you guys have seen me carry these around in my wallet? If you ever see me in person, I might have even given you one. So I have a ton of these everywhere. I have money everywhere, especially where I work. You can get these on Amazon for like $5. Like for a stack of them. And so I put them in my wallet. I give them to people because in my mission, I'm trying to make sure other people have money. So this is a way for me, and it's fun when I meet somebody and I'm like, here, take it, put it in your wallet, manifest some cash. And I keep them, I have them over where I sleep. I have these where I work. I have them in my wallet. So that's just something I do. It's a little love letter from me to me. Gave those away at my store to manifest. Yeah, they're great to give away. They don't cost very much. And it's a nice energy, right? Okay, what else did I wanted to give you before we start getting into stuff? Okay, let me know tonight if you guys use Canva. I actually have a really nice, it's in the Rich Intuition Society, but I'll pull it out for you guys if you want it. I have a Canva template for a really badass Lux vision board that you would do on Canva. And I have it in my program as just an extra bonus little something that I thrown out there. But I wish I could take a picture of it. I'll post the reel where I revealed it, my completed one. I'll post a reel of it in the Facebook group, and you guys let me know if you're Canva people. If you're Canva people, then I can give you the template and you can drop in your own photos. But it's really fun. It says like worth every penny, impact and wealth, trend setting, show stopping, confidence. It's right here in front of me. She is me. What does it say? Big star energy. We all know what the star is. Lit, entrepreneur, spirituality and health, Forbes. It's got like all these things on it. It's really cool. So let me know if you're interested in that. Yes, in Canva, Rachel says. Okay, cool. So here's what I want to ask you guys to do. I would really love if you would consider choosing one of these things or something that feels resonating for you and do it by the time the day is over. Okay? One thing, whether it's a luxurious bath tonight, or you even just go on Chanel's website to shop and look at purses just to get comfortable looking at something that costs that much. I don't care if it's a free thing or a paid thing or something you're doing from home in your PJs, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say that I want to challenge you to do one of these things before the end of the day, just to scratch the surface of how these things can change your entire frequency. Hard time reading the list in the chat. Okay, I have like a cheat sheet. Do you guys want it? I didn't make anything official. It was just like a cheat sheet of some of the stuff I said. Let me just give it to you. Let me give you the link. I'm not going to post this anywhere else, so you got to grab it from the chat, okay? So that link will open up the document. I want to make sure it's anyone with the link is a viewer. Okay, yeah. And then my phone rings. Okay, so that document has some of the notes I just took on the topic today, and it's got the lists there, which I kind of drew our conversation from. So, okay, so how many of you guys can proclaim to me right now something you find interesting or what you find interesting? I'd love to hear from each and every one of you because this is really important that we embody. Knowing things, again, is not the jam. We've got to make decisions to use it, right? So I would love to remove spotlight. I want to see your faces. And I'd really love to hear from you guys if any of these in particular feel like you could really dive into that, or if any of you have like ideas of what you would do tonight. Can I hear from you? You're not seeing the link. Oh, you know what I did? I sent it directly to Linda for some reason because she might have sent me a message. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Everyone in meeting. Here you go, guys. There you go. Okay, who's up? I really want to hear from you. Linda?
most of those things I'm ready to do, but I have a high-end watch that I don't wear, and I'm going to start wearing it.
Yes.
And I have Chanel perfume that I love, and I haven't worn it for a long, long time, and I'm going to start using it. So yes, I'm definitely on board with this. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
And like I said, my perfume is like, I do a lot of things that are just between me, myself, and I.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not doing this for anyone else or to prove anything to anyone else. I'm doing it because it changes the way I feel and what I show up and do. So, like, I put on Armani before I got on the Zoom. I'm not going to see anybody today, but I put it on because it's me, myself, and I, right? So, even on days where you're not leaving the house, maybe you just throw that watch on, you know?
Yeah. One more thing. For the first time in my life, last fall, I bought a designer handbag from Nordstrom. And
Wow.
I'm going to tell you all, it really makes me feel good every day. And it's not,
I know.
it's a snob factor. There's
Nope.
just something about it that I feel put together. I
And you
feel
guys,
ready.
it's so funny because when I work with spiritual entrepreneurs on these topics, they always say it's not that I care about material. It's not that I swear to God, I'm like, I know who you are. Of course you're not. It's not about ego. I know that. And we know that. Everybody knows that, but I'll be damned if it doesn't make you feel extra. And extra is expansive, and expansiveness helps you reach. Like, so it's you have to believe when it's good for you, right? It's good for the world. And it's okay to say, I'm going to have something that operates from overflow, right? I'm going to have something that makes overflow in my life turn into overflow in my business, right? In my mission, in my offers, in my light work, in my impact, in my influence. That's okay. That's the goal. So if you need to be turned on a little bit to do that better, turn on, baby. Right? Yeah. Okay. What else does anybody else have that they want to share? Any of these like stand out? Yeah, Sonia?
So I love luxury. This is one of the reasons why I was so captivated by your offer. I'm your target girl for sure. So, um, one of the things that I realized is that there are some moments in my life when I've experienced this feeling of luxury overflow. And one of them was a trip that I went to Italy for my sister-in-law's birthday. I couldn't afford the hotel, but my brother, who is doing very well, he said, just get yourself over however you can, and I'll pay for the rest. Being there for a week in this 5-star plus hotel in Italy was like a pinnacle moment for me. Everything was to the T, just gorgeous. And they know your name before you walk in. I mean, everything. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to, in my meditation, relive that and embody it, like really feel it. Because I've had the experience. I also had the feeling of I can't afford it. And my brother said, don't be crazy. I just get yourself here. So to envision myself being able to afford it, that I can get myself there and pay for it and have that be the reframe, that it's not because I've had the experience, but now to add in the piece that I can actually embody it to a point where I can say, yeah, I'm going to go back to this place and I'm going to pay for everything and bring along a girlfriend or whatever it is. But to
Yes.
embody that experience and really feel it go through my being.
Yes. I love that. I love that. That brings up a really good point. Like reliving things that you've done before can be just as state changing. They say that the brain can't tell the difference between the imagination and something that's happening in many ways. It still produces the same physiological response and emotional response. So yeah, that's an excellent idea. Liliana, red lips is one of yours, girl. We can see that.
Yeah, that's lately has been. I've been really attracted to lips and like artwork with lips. So I've really been embodying that. Um, I have two things I like to do. Perhaps this is a little bit because I love clothes so much, probably a little bit too much. is that sometimes when I have time, I do fashion shows for myself.
Yeah.
And I try on all my favorite outfits. And I strut in front of the mirror.
Yeah,
And I
you
enjoy
do.
it. Another thing I really do, especially like this time of my life, sometimes a luxury for me is a cup of coffee or Italian soda at my favorite cafe. And
Yep.
so each payday, I set aside money for me to at least get one a week where I can go and sit at my favorite cafe and enjoy my favorite drink. And I write because I'm a writer, and like my higher self just enjoys that luxury and that aesthetic of being in a cafe and writing my novels and just really embracing it. So that's what I
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah, and a little, a little drinky drink once a month, or a little croissant with your drink, or just a little gold pen with a little
Yeah.
diamond on top and a nice notebook. I can see you now, just living that life. That's wonderful. And the way you feel is probably just so rewarding when you do that. And like you said, even if it's once a month, that's great.
Yeah, it is.
Lipstick every day, drinks once a month. Love it. Rachel, what are some of your fun stuff that you like? What's Lux to you?
Well, this is all going to be very new for me because I have very much been like, I just do whatever's practical, and there's no point to perfume except for like I've always been such a country bumpkin that like this luxury stuff, I'm like start just even through you right now, but even just recently I've been starting to see the value in experiencing that because it feels good. And so I'm like, this is like new for me to be like, oh, there's value in this luxury thing because it feels good. And then you're attracting more things that feel good. And there's value in feeling good, which might sound weird, but it is really a new thing for me to be like, oh, it's okay to just feel good in the world and not just be in living this life of like whatever is practical, whatever's, you know what I mean? So like this is new. This is new.
Well, and I just channeled something through that I realized I haven't said, which is so wild that I haven't said it. Because I think I told you guys, one of my coaches that I hired at one point, she had me imagine my brand and my mission, like my brand really, as a environment. And for me, it was a penthouse suite, which I've never lived in, but a penthouse suite overlooking the city. And I'm by myself, but I'm wearing lingerie. And so I don't know why it just dropped in, but like a little satin panty or something when you don't need something practical, and it's like I could grab the practical at this moment that I don't actually need to be practical, or I can choose the little lacy panty. Like you're just turning yourself on. That's the whole point of all of this. You're just turning yourself on. So I don't know why that dropped in for you. I'm going to pretend it's not necessarily about you. Thank you for the moment, because we all can benefit from the idea of having a little lacy bralette to sleep in, a satin pair of pajamas versus the t-shirt, like that's just something for us. You know what I mean? Another thing I have is I have the lavender linen spritz, and before I go to bed, I spray it on my pillow. Like that's just, I'm sure you got some essential oils laying around, you guys. Like you can make yourself a little spritz, like treating nighttime as a ritual, or undies as a ritual, or snacks or drinks as a ritual. Yeah. So the thing I love about this for you, Rachel, is because you're so not already exploring this, like not like up until this point, anything you do is going to have a massive impact.
Totally.
That's
Totally. So I'm
really
like,
cool. Like you're gonna
yeah.
have like so much low-hanging fruit here that you're gonna experience massive possibilities by just even doing the least, which is kind of fun actually.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try a lot of these things. My daughter already does do that. She is 8 and she is a Virgo, and she is like has the she's super like, I'm becoming more girly through her because girly or luxurious. I think of those as similar things.
Yeah.
But she's like, let's go get our nails done. I want to do your makeup. Let's do spa day. I have this little spray next to the bed. We're gonna spray it on the bed before we go to sleep. She still sleeps with me. So yeah, so she's actually been open to me because then I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually really nice. Whereas like normally I wouldn't have even thought to do something like that because I'm like, oh, it's not a necessary part of life. Like it's not a necessary part of survival. So I'm not even gonna think about things like that. But because she's actually been starting to introduce that stuff to me because it's nice, it feels good. And so that's all opening up me to like, oh yeah, this is actually like it's okay to like just do something that feels good. So it's like it's really great. It's really great. So
I love that.
thank
And
you.
have a partner in her with this. You can
Yeah.
even tell her like, mommy's gonna try and like try a couple like little luxury things. Is there something you want to do together? What would be fun for you? You know, maybe ask her. She's a Virgo. She's dialed in.
Totally.
You guys
Totally.
know I'm a Virgo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love it. Thank you.
definitely our superpower. So that's great. Thanks.
Yes.
What about you, Lauren?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that like I've intuitively been doing this more and more the last couple of years. And I do see how much it helps over time. And like even this year, I've even done even more. Like for the first time ever, I hired someone to clean our house. I could only do it once, but as a mom with a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, it's like, oh my gosh, this is what rich people feel like when they actually have someone else clean their homes. And like, so my point is like, I think that it's probably different for everybody, but the cleaning was really just like, oh, it was luxurious for me.
Space did that open up, and then you can use that space to go. I'm sure you're a hard worker and you're a content creator, so I'm sure you channeled all of that space into your mission and into your work or into things that supported you showing up for work. Like if you channeled it into your spouse or whatever, then that's keeping you fulfilled so that you can show up to work better when you do show up to work. It's all relative, but like
Yeah.
relevant. But yeah, I mean, what space that probably created, you know?
Yeah, it's like I didn't have to, if I don't have to clean, I can spend more time doing other things. And so rich version of Lauren in the future can afford a cleaner.
Yes, she can. All right, y'all. Well, we are at 4:17 Eastern time, so I'll kind of wrap us up here unless there's anybody else that wants to hi Liana, nice to see you. Just saw you jumping in. Hi, baby. We haven't heard from you yet. I know you jumped in a little late, but you can say hi if you want. Welcome. Let's see. She looks like she's going for the unmute.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hello, hello
Hey.
everyone. Sorry that I'm late.
Okay, it's good to see you.
Thank you, same.
Welcome. Okay, so we will I guess wrap up here unless there's anything else anybody else wants to say. I'm gonna look at your comments too. Yeah, go into the Facebook group, you guys. That's a great idea. Sonia said, Rachel, go into the Facebook group and share what you do. I would love to hear your favorites after you look over the list or have a think about this. I'll also post, let me write this down to myself. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna post.
Tana Jan has her hand up.
Okay, one sec. Thank you so much. I'll get you in one sec. Post the vision board video of my own and the vision board Canva link. Okay, so I just made a note to myself because I was going to forget that. And then, yeah, be posting in there. And Jan, I would love to hear from you. Oh, fireworks, Miriam. That was fancy. How about for you, Jan?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Hi. So,
Hi.
Hi everybody. You guys are like way further ahead in this than I am, I feel like, but for this part not.
Yeah.
So, in the luxury, I have lived a pretty great life where I've been blessed with a lot and just believed in manifesting it. But in the last couple of years, I have really pulled back. Like my daughter bought me a Louis Vuitton purse 2 years ago for birthday, Christmas, everything combined. And I have never taken it out of the box.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, every once in a while, the reason why this is something that's so like clear about my mission and my business is because most spiritual entrepreneurs as an industry they're having a hard time being comfortable with being resourced, safe, regulated, and having an operating from overflow. If you've actually experienced the ability to manifest and create and be an
Mhm.
you might be an exception where like spirit is teaching you like different nuances, but it's all the same idea, because if you're not necessarily, like you said, how would you define I'm not where you guys are at yet? What does that mean?
Oh, well, I meant because it sounds like everybody's like, I just got my certification. Well, actually, a year ago, and I have been coaching really for 30 years, but I just got certified as one. I don't have a website because my daughter told me that websites are irrelevant, which I'm learning is not true.
Well, it depends. There
No.
are certain beliefs about that, and it depends on what you're doing and what you sell and all of that. So she's
Well,
not
and that
wrong necessarily, but yeah.
except Tana, I sell real estate. I've been selling real estate for 40 years and it is relevant.
Yeah.
And so it totally is, but she's, 35. And so in her mind, in her world, it's not. But anyway, in the last couple of years, I had some things happen. I'm not even sure what it is, but I'm the luxury part. Like I have beautiful clothes. I don't wear them. I wear like jogging suits, probably since COVID and stuff. And yeah.
So but here's the difference though, because for most of the people in this chat,
Mhm.
having a Louis Vuitton bag is going to expand them in a particular direction. For you, if you
Yeah.
took out your Louis Vuitton, can I just be curious for a second? How would
Mhm.
you? Is that the same activation that it is for you that it is for others? Or are you kind of working a little bit off of the grid of the norm right now, which is also very possible if your experience has been different than some of the people in this room up until this point, right? When it comes to luxury or manifestation or resourcefulness and all of this, right? You could be on a track of a personal nature, and you could be doing the
Mhm.
lessons flip-flop a little bit, but
Oh,
that doesn't mean you're
totally.
behind. It just means you did the other thing first. And when everyone puts the two pieces together, we're all going to end up in the same spot, right? But how would the Louis Vuitton bag make you feel? What would that activate within you if you took that out?
Oh, I know the reason she bought it for me is because she's used to seeing me have a fabulous life. And I've been kind of a hermit and more studying, doing a lot of studying and she's not dating. Like she sees the difference in me and I think it's breaking her heart. And so she knows, and it is true. Once I start using it, I know it's going to just it gives you a lot of confidence doing that. And I think I'm still working on the reasons, being a really good coach to myself. That's part of the reasons, and yeah, I don't know why I pulled back, but that's interesting, your
Well,
side of it.
it's a choose your own adventure. And if you pull
Mm-hmm.
back, there was something for you possibly in that. But the real
Mm-hmm.
question, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
is how do we turn you on? How do we
Yeah.
This is one
Mm-hmm.
of my favorite ways that I use in my own life to activate, and something I can teach on, and something I know results with me and my clients. And just I know this is activating for so many, and that it's a good fit for what the spiritual industry lacks. But if it activates you a little differently, not because you're trying to pat yourself on the back for a limiting belief, but because it truly does activate you differently, then that's something to look at too. But it sounds like even though you've had the bag and even though you've experienced abundance, it still feels good maybe to maybe put on some of those clothes or do the bag. And if that makes
Completely.
okay, and maybe that makes you feel a little bit
Yes.
empowered, like yourself, when there's a journey for everyone and every reason, right? But yeah.
Yeah. I think this was a brilliant exercise, and all the things that you said are so true. And I completely agree that this is going to reconnect me with with my life,
Yeah.
because I've sort of been gone from my life for a while. I
Well,
don't know why.
you
I
used to
lost it.
feel powerful and connected to
Yes.
your power before. Wouldn't that be
Hmm.
lovely to do in this arena?
Yes.
So that's why maybe
Absolutely.
it's coming back into your space, and the universe
Yes.
bringing me to mirror something that you want
Yes.
to know. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you. It
Well,
was
thank you.
perfect. and it's not taught very often, which is interesting.
Yes, that is
Mhm.
true. And that's why I don't mind ruffling some feathers when I go on the interwebs and I look all luxury and I'm like, spiritual people, buy a handbag. And they're like, tomatoes, tomatoes. I'm like, I don't care, because I wanted you to get to the point where you saw your reaction and asked yourself, is that serving your mission? Just asking. Just
Mhm.
asking how that serves the world for you to and it's not for everyone, and I understand that, but if you're here, you resonated with it on some level, so it might mean that this is something the universe wants you to look at. Yeah, so
I think so. And then I want to be like, geez, I could pay off that bill if I'm a Capricorn and I'm very practical.
you're the Virgos and Capricorns, we balance each other, so I know all about Capricorn.
but I'm going to take your advice, because I have a feeling that the payoff, that's a weird word, but the payoff in my spiritual, where I need to be, I think I need to embrace it more and feel the magic again.
Like channeling that abundance back into this mission, this thing,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Which is going to
Yeah.
require that you be that powerful person again,
Mhm.
right? And
Yes.
it takes a little walk around the park with the bag, then let's go.
And so I can help others through being that person
I
again.
know it feels like a bag is not going to help you save
Mhm.
lives, but I'm literally serious about it.
I know. And
A
I
silly
feel
little bag can help you
feel it.
save lives. I know that sounds crazy, but
No,
when you
I feel
connection, you've
Mhm.
busted out of the matrix of your own limitations,
My gut feeling is you're totally right, and I'm going to embrace it. And my mission is to actually save people from like giving up on their lives completely, or just like fading into the sunset, because
Anything you need to do to feel
yeah.
powerful, resourced, and turned on, and that juicy, juicy, juicy energy. And
Perfect.
this is just a great, great way to do it. So thanks, Jan.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Unique story about it too. That added a lot, good little dimension for us too.
Yeah.
Lauren, you had your hand up again?
Yeah, I had a question, and tell me if it's easier to just contact you directly, but I was curious about the mentorship, and more so your background, because I know you were in film, and I think that's the only thing I really remember, but I'm curious like what you bring to that outside of like prior to being a psychic.
Sounds good. Hang on one sec. Miriam, did you have a
Yeah.
question about the luxury stuff or a comment on the luxury stuff before I circle back to Lauren? Do you mind, Lauren?
No, go ahead.
Because then I can switch gears and answer questions over
Yep.
there. I'll tell you all the things.
Just really quickly, I do this I've like done this for years and years and years and years in my psychotherapy sessions with clients, is like get them dressed up and the
Yes.
bags and the whole jewelry and everything, or for the guys, like the ties and the briefcase and the whole whatever. And it just watch them change, have them look at themselves in the mirror and watch them change. It's amazing. Talk differently, the whole, like go right into the role. So I just wanted to say it's great. And I also wanted to share one thing, like for people who are gonna like go with the Louis Vuitton bag or whatever. The first time I did this, like 30 years ago, whatever, first time I did it, people started looking at me differently, and then they started treating me differently. I noticed like they would treat me as if they had an expectation. And so they would bring things like show me stuff that cost way more. And I'd be like, I got the bag, but I'm not the person yet. Like the money's not there. So it's just like, I just thought I would share that. It's like, we're in a thing. It's like a transitional place, but people will respond to what they like. I'm sitting there with Chanel, and you see the Versace around me and everything.
Yeah.
That, it's like, that's taken a long time. Now I'm trying to get rid of it. But in the beginning, it was like, shit, what do I do? Because I don't actually have money for like 5-20 bags, whatever, or expensive dinners or stuff. So just so that you know that might happen as well, and be ready to deal with that. I just wanted to.
I also have a couple of fake Chanel things. I have a couple of fake bags. I don't care. Like you guys don't get me wrong. Like it's not all just it's costume jewelry is this all we're doing is it's a costume for your character, right? So I know some people would be like, oh, only authentic stuff, or you're you're inauthentic, or you're not in integrity. I'm like, does it really show the integrity of myself if I like some little earrings that have the little, it's for me. Like if I like it and it makes me feel good, I'm not sitting here trying to impress anybody. I don't care. Like I'm trying to turn myself on and I like it. So I also like did some fake stuff too before my first thing I ever got was a Coach bag, and that was real. And then I've gotten a few Coach. It's not really about the stuff. My point is like at any level it feels good. At any way, shape, or form it feels good. Like you deserve to turn yourself on. Great. Lindsay, do you have something on this or another question?
Yeah, real quick on this. Do you guys want to see how cool the universe is? So I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do? I've just felt really under the weather and I didn't get dressed up today. I'm just like barely here. And then look what came while we were on the call.
Oh my
I
God.
know. I never get flowers. And a friend, just randomly sent me these flowers. And so I am feeling luxurious and special, and the energy definitely, there's a change.
You should keep them in whatever room you're in for the rest of the night. Like if you're going to take a bath later, or a shower, you should put them in take them with you in every room. Like keep them with you all day today.
Yeah, I think I will. I was just like, wow. So anyway, I had to share real quick before we go to other questions.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, I'll go to Lauren's question too right now. So what specifically about my background, what would I say? When I was in my early 20s, I had a near-death experience, and then immediately in that moment, my great-grandmother came to me, kept me in my body. And long story short, I'll tell you the long story sometime if you want. But from that moment on, psychic abilities were there, but I didn't know if I was crazy or not. So I had to like kind of get my grasp on that. And then back in 2008 was my first year I started doing psychic training. I did with Charles Virtue, Doreen Virtue. I studied under them for a long time in person and stuff. And then I started my career as an angel reader at a metaphysical store. And then I worked for a few years. Then I went to a different metaphysical store because the first one ended up closing. And that metaphysical store is where I met, some of you guys might know Linda G. If you ever heard of her, sometimes people find me from her, but she's a friend of mine who used to work at the shop who has a big YouTube channel. But I've been a professional reader for 20 years. In 2018 or 19, I took my business online. I put my first sales funnel together, and I had it was a $199 course. And it was called Remove Your Psychic Reading Blocks. And I had before that a 5-part training series that was made of 5 4-minute videos. And it was called, the free training was called Remove Your Psychic Reading Blocks. And then on the 5th day of the free training, it was like a 4-minute video. I said the fifth tip for removing psychic reading blocks is using something that I call psychic reading shortcuts, right? So guess what my program is called? Psychic Reading Shortcuts, right? Because it really was a value, and that's the first thing I created. That was it. That's what I was passionate about. So I got some PR. I went on like my friend's YouTube channel, and I had a little tiny email list, and I said, I got this free training, and then this funnel is what we call the service funnel in the back end of our program. So it was a 5-part dripped series once a day, and then a 72-hour half off offer for this online course. So you'd get it at $99 instead of $199. I had a 30-day free trial with Kajabi that I could not make the first payment of. But 2 days before the payment was due, that was the 72-hour cutoff for my offer. And I was at a retreat, and all of a sudden my phone goes bling, 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 bling. I'm like, what's going on? $100, $100, $100, $100. That day I made $10,000 on my first funnel for an online course. And I said, that was the best thing that's ever happened. And not even that, but like also people were in my work. They were I put my heart and soul into it. It was, and here they were buying it, and I was serving them, and they were coming to me with questions. They were commenting in the community. It was great. Right. So then I started making a couple other online products and ultimately doing readings online. So I turned that funnel actually into the service-based funnel. So it's a half off for 72 hours. Let me explain something. Your first 6-figure year is easily broken down to this. A reading at $250. You don't have to, but this is just the math. $250, 10 readings a week. Half of them all year will be at full price. half of them all year will be at half off, either from the new client entry or flash sales. If you do that, that's a 6-figure year. But then what I teach is going to multi 6 figures by actually shifting some of that time you're putting into one-on-one services and having 20 5K sales or 10K sales and adding that to your services, or heaven forbid, 20 10K sales. And now you're multi 6 figures without your services at all. So that's more of the high ticket funnel. In the middle of that is the product funnel that I mentioned, which is turning leads who don't necessarily want reading, and they want to be a student or a person of products. So the part of the program and the mentorship or the mastermind that covers funnels, I have one for service-based, one for products, which is kind of the middle, and then one for high ticket. And so they all have a situation kind of like that where it enters one way and it nurtures into the next thing. Does that make sense? So I still do readings. I kind of retired a couple years ago from doing full time, but I still do it. I do 30-day retainerships. I do VIP stuff. I started teaching business. I was teaching business to my friends and to my peers for a really long time. It was about 3 years ago that I officially said, I cannot do any more readings. Spirit will not let me. I'm getting sick every time I try to schedule readings. I literally need to start teaching business. Spirit will not let me wait. And then I went into the luxury space about 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, because that's what I would truly wanted to authentically do and was always too scared to do. And it's completely changed who I am as a leader and how I create and how I show up. I literally, I'm not the girl you even would have seen 2 years ago. And the reason why is because I accepted my fate of knowing my mission and using these tools. It allowed me to express what I was so afraid they were going to hang me for, but now I don't care because now I understand the mission. The mission is to activate people, and I can help them without them loving me. So I divorced myself from needing to be overly liked. And instead, I want to be someone who poses a question that will make you stretch if that's your way to stretch, right? So does that answer your question? That's the skinny.
Yeah. Basically, I can tell you have a lot of business knowledge, and that's what I am really attracted to the program for, is like filling in the gap where I don't have that. So, and I knew you did video, and so I was just curious.
I also went to college for a while, and I was a film production major. So
yeah,
I know,
same.
I know that was one of you guys. Lauren, my whole story. How long ago was it when you had I swear you had 20 subscribers on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was at least 4 years ago.
And I reached out to her and I said, girl, you're incredibly psychic. And I know this because literally your videos are bomb. First of all, they look great. You must have a production background. And I said, also, you're the best kept secret on YouTube, and you're hella psychic because every single thing you said is exactly how I would have answered it. I said, you're going to blow up. And then I just reached out to her on YouTube and I was like, you're going to be great. Good luck. And now her YouTube is way past mine because I don't nurture mine very much, but but Lauren, I was just talking to somebody about this actually yesterday. I didn't say your name, I said, but there's a person that's in my space right now who can do absolutely everything I do, have the offers, do the leader, your abilities are no different than mine, except for maybe I have some business background that you don't or whatever, but as far as your ability to be powerful behind your mission and your work and your intuition and there's nothing, our literal psychic brain, I know because I watch your stuff. We have the same psychic perspective. So
yeah.
I do that, anything you see me do, it's a smorgasbord. You could do any of it. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Throwing that out there. That's how many subscribers do you have on your YouTube now?
Actually, as of today, 13. Even
13,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I found you when she had 20. I reached out and I'm like, you're gonna be great, man. I'm like,
I was looking up to you because I was like, she has so many.
No, you beat me a long time ago. Okay, any other questions? Lindsay, you have your hand up again, maybe?
Sorry. Yes, I have one more question. Can you put that link again in the chat for the finding your audience, really dialing down?
The report, right? The 444 session. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
And you can schedule and pay right there. So if it's something any of you want to do, you can literally do it without any more of my help. My schedule is updated and it'll just schedule you a time. Okay. All right. And if you end up doing that and within the time frame you're like Sonia was, which is like, do we have to stop? Like, what else you got? You know, and we rolled it over for her. I can roll it over for you too, if that's something you want to do. But it's actually cheaper if you the first month. This report is not only in the program, but we have a whole year to talk about it and to work with it. And this is a $444 purchase. But if you did the monthly payments on the mastermind, it's only $333. So it'd be cheaper on the front end than this session. It would just take a longer commitment of working together if that's something that you wanted to do. So anyways, you can play with that. Any other questions? Okay. All right, you guys, tomorrow is Legacy Chamber Day. Are you excited? I'm going to talk to you about philanthropic effort. It's our major flex. You had no idea that you could do this so easily and how powerful it would be. And it's not just about giving. It's also about, how many of you guys have heard of the shoe company Tom's? What's their thing? Do you remember? Anybody know?
Don't they
Don't they give
shoes?
back to
They
like
give shoes,
homeless?
I think, to
Yeah. You buy a
kids.
pair of shoes and they'll give a pair of shoes to somewhere where someone doesn't have shoes, right? And why do you know that about them? Not just because they're doing it. Why do you know it? Why do you know that about them?
It's part of their brand.
It's part of their brand.
They've woven it
Part
into
of their
their
brand.
how they share who they
Are
are.
they any less helping people by making you aware of it?
Mm-mm.
It's a win-win. You can actually put your values into your brand so that people will recognize your values easier, and you can create a movement that everybody gets to be a part of. Like for me, I'm going to share you guys my movement and how my business contributes to a couple things. And I'm going to show you how I weave that into my brand story. And it's a little bit under the surface. Like I have my main things that I talk about, but if you actually look through all my content, you would see every once in a while where it's addressed. So one of my values is, because I'm a drug and alcohol, I've been clean and sober for 20 years. So I help drug and alcohol addicted people around the world. That's the one thing I do. But because I have friends who suffered from sexual abuse and also have, I help, we do shelter for homeless children. We do sex trafficking, a way to be closer to home by rescue efforts. And then I do drug and alcohol efforts for rehabilitation. So I'm going to teach you how to choose something that's aligned with your mission or your heart, and how to actually like put it pseudo kind of in your marketing and in your business and in your brand story. And there's nothing that doesn't benefit from it, including you and your heart. So I'm going to show you how to do this even without having like a 10%, you know, I'm going to teach you a really easy way to do this. Okay. So, all right, cool. So that's tomorrow. And if you show up, I'll give you a link where you can donate, where it'll be out of my pocket, but you choose the cause. And that's how we'll start the day. Okay. So, all right. Awesome. I'll see you all tomorrow.